And then if I go over to here for my locations, and we just go to locations, and there's my north site again. Now, the difference on this site is that I have attached it. So inside here, I've got a number of different things. I've got my code name. This is where I can set my taxes on it. So my taxes can be different from Vancouver than they are in say, Ontario, where I've got Ontario HST in Ontario, but I've got BC PST and GST in Vancouver, or whatever tax it happens to be if you happen to be in the US. Your tax exemption number, if you are exempt from purchasing and things like that, and what tax area code and things like that. Inside your addresses, you got your name, address, and telephone number. This will show up on the purchase orders if you wish, so you can grab your purchase order as you put your purchase order out. I'm ordering for the North Store. You can put this address on that PO so that it knows, so the vendor knows who to deliver it to, because you've got multiple locations. In your warehouse, inside here, you've got, do I require a receive, shipment, and put away? So this is where I could require one. And if I click this and put it like this, it means that I must put it through that process. I've left mine all turned off so that I can do what I like inside my demos, but a lot of people will turn this on, directed on that. Is the bin mandatory? Do I want this item to always go to a bin? I can turn that on or off over here. And again, that is item by item or site by site, and then we can make it. And then by item, we can set it as well. How do I consume it? Warehouse pick, optional, whatever it happens to be. I'm just going to put in the no handling. We're not doing any handling right now, but handling is built into Business Central. When I click on my bins here, I get my different bins: receipt bin, shipment bin. Those match those bins that we just saw inside here. Basically, they're the same ones inside here. You'll see receipt bin, shipment bin, purchase, and sales order fulfillment. They have different names, but they do exactly the same thing. So they functionally allow you to do that. There are bin policies as well, which allow you to do things. So you can check capacity and things like that. Always allow break, bulk, clear it, etc. And do I always put it into a pick bin, or how do I do that from that point of view? When I go to the inventory posting setup, I then have a location code. And these are all the different classes, and you saw that I was dealing with retail before, so this one here would be the one that would match up. And again, I've got it by inventory account, the interim account that I mentioned before, as well as the WIP account and some of these ones that are used by manufacturing. And they are stored against the different items, so against your finished goods actual or whatever it happens to be. This is my north site, so it's just showing me nothing but north. But if I click on all, you will have every single location will have a piece. So it's been filtered because of how I got into this particular screen. So there it is. There's suggested counts, and then under more options, I have the automate always. Okay. Now, one thing I should mention as we go through this is that as I go back to my item card here, one of the things that I can do is once I set this up, I can send it for approval. So I can send this across for approval. I can send this to somebody. So if I'm the engineer and I'm putting this in the system, I can send it off to accounting to make sure that I've got all my the right categories and things like that set up for the accounting people, and then they can approve it, and then it becomes an item inside Business Central. So easy to do. You can also use Power Automate to do exactly the same thing. You can create approvals and manage the flows from inside here. Inside here, you got history, you got entries, you got item information, all your different variants and things like that. Everything's on the single screen. Again, these are kind of like go-to buttons, and they allow you to open up additional screens. There's the purchase orders and the vendors. So if I click on list of the vendors who can supply the item, so if I go into that, that's your vendor item catalog. What's the vendor number? I can type in Ace Travel. And what's my vendor item number is a 2-ear headset. So it's a different number than the Access 2-ear, which is a headset. And then it's going to be a 30-day lead time, and like so. So there it is there, and the variant code, etc., is not valid. So there we are. So you can pick. Oh, well, sorry, M. I'll just leave that one out. I haven't got it set up at this point. So there it is there, and then I can add another vendor if I wish. So I can advance travel, and this one has got Their number is 2-ear head set, like so. And there we are there. So we can then put that, and it automatically, and then it would save it and move it across. So that allows me to put in my vendors so that I've got my vendors against it. That's very much like inside GP. What we do is we go to our vendors, and when I go assigned, you will find on this one, you'll find Ace Travel. And then you would type in your vendor number there where I could put in my 2-ear instead of my access head. I've just got this defaulting across. The pricing and things like that is then done by the vendor itself.